It was about 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'd have tried to go to the gym before I would work, but I decided that morning I was gonna see just how strong I was, and I was by myself. And I got to about 2:05, and I was holding what they call suicide grip. That is whenever you don't wrap your thumb around the bar, it just lays on your hand. But the moment that I picked that bar up, I remember they had a little bow in it. That bow was in the bottom. And as soon as I picked it up off the rack, it flipped out of my hand. Because my thumb was not wrapped around that bar, when it flipped, all it did was come straight down from the top of the rack to my neck, and oh man. I remember it landed on my neck, and instantly I knew I was in trouble. I remember it sitting on my neck, and I'm looking around, not knowing what to do. Then I remember I didn't have the clip, so I just dumped the weights on one side, then the bar flipped back over to the other side. And I remember sitting up, and as soon as I sit up, blood started coming out of my mouth. I could actually feel my neck puffing in and out. And I remember saying the words, "In the name of Jesus, I shall live and I shall not die." I go to the front of the gym, and the lady that runs the gym is sitting there, and as soon as she's seen me, she's seen my neck, because it turned black and blue instantly. She calls 911 immediately. When the ambulance got there, they get on the phone, they call Life Flight, and for some reason, Life Flight could not come get me. The only logical place to take me was not here in my hometown hospital, was the Chapel Hill, and from where we were at, it was about an hour.
When Mr. Warpoole presented to UNC hospitals, he came in as a trauma red alert, which is essentially the highest acuity trauma that we have.
Every time he took a breath, his neck would pop out like this. It's kind of like a bullfrog. Like,
I knew that we needed to go from the trauma bay to the operating room.
They give me the medicine to put me to sleep. I could see the lights going down the hallway, and they were cutting my neck open as we were talking. They cut me from here, and they cut me across here. And I was talking to them while they were cutting me open. I remember that doctor was like, "Don't talk."
When we first opened things up, very quickly realized that it was a massively severe and complex injury. And the first thing that we did was pull the trachea out of the chest so that we could secure an airway. This kind of surgery really has two parts. One part is save the patient's life, and the second part is repair the organ that was damaged so that the patient can be functional in the long term.
I think they had me sleeping for about 2 days, so I didn't move. I remember the doctor came in the room after they woke me up, and he told me that it was impossible that I was here today. Medically, scientifically, I should have died. They estimate it being about 410 pounds of pressure because of the weight of the fall when it hit. From what I understand, that my voice box was completely crushed, and I shouldn't be able to talk, and I should have had brain damage. I should have been paralyzed. The fact of the matter is, I wasn't supposed to live. I should have died in three and a half minutes, or however long a man can hold his breath. And when it took me an hour and a half or so to actually have medical intervention inside of the hospital, I look at it now and I think to myself, God was just showing off.
some people would call it a miracle, and I would too. I think divine intervention was involved.
It should have been a year or two before I was able to do anything. And it wasn't 3 or 4 months. I'm active, doing what I love to do, supporting my family, able to go back to work.
It's hard to call anything else other than miraculous.
I used to wonder if God could really do this, or would he really do that, or you hear these stories, is that real, you know? And I don't question that anymore. I don't question none of this, because I'm here today to tell you that I shouldn't be here today.